Hey all, welcome to a tale of fear, survival, and discovering courage. It's a serious one, but it's true and it counts. Lily sat in 7th grade math with Miss Zen, her pencil shaking. Miss Zen was a survivor of a school shooting. 26 students had been killed under her care at the high school down the street. They discovered her performing CPR on their bodies, yelling, "I was supposed to protect you." 2 months later she was teaching them. Lily saw her intensity from day one. Miss Zen spent her own funds on doorstops to hold the classroom together. She filled emergency backpacks with bandages and tourniquets. Lily looked up to her at first. She wanted them to be safe. But the 3rd week changed her. Miss Zen winced when the intercom crackled. Her eyes widened, body glued against the wall. She remained stiff until Mr. Carter, the principal, was done announcing picture day. Lily and her classmates shared a look. No one said it, but everyone's thinking it, PTSD. Bathroom breaks were forbidden by Miss Zen during times of high risk. That was most of the day. Every day she searched their backpacks for who knows. She offered to take school shooting evacuation drills. Lily's stomach knotted every time they did them. Things worsened after the Thanksgiving break. Miss Zen brought in the quiet game. One afternoon in a math class on fractions, she shrieked, "Threat! There's a threat!" Lily froze, her heart thumping. She hurled herself under the desk. A skinny kid with glasses struck his knee on a metal bar. He began wailing. It was a pitiful whimper. Miss Zen lost it. She had Michael lie flat on the floor. She poured red paint on his shirt, her voice ice cold. "This is what happens to loud children. They ooze out and die." Lily gulped, her hands clammy. Michael's face sizzled scarlet, tears dripping from his cheeks. His mom complained to Mr. Carter. The principal just said Miss Zen was keeping them safe. Lily overheard her mom, Mrs. Larson, whispering to her dad, Mr. Larson, "The school's afraid of a lawsuit. They believe she's their best defense." Miss Zen put up a survivor score chart on the wall. She ranked them by how quiet and how fast they were in drills. Lily was stuck at number 15 out of 27. She hated herself for caring, but Miss Zen's smile for the top 5 kids stung. Lily wanted to be better at being quiet. During drills, Miss Zen told stories about her old students. Tyler breathed too loud, she'd whisper, pacing between desks. Lily pressed her hands to her chest, trying to silence her breathing. Miss Zen made them wear socks in class. "Sneakers make fatal sounds," she said. Lily's feet got cold, but she obeyed. The windows were covered with art projects. Really, they were survival maps, hiding spots, exit routes. Lily helped tape them up one afternoon. Her hands shook as she smoothed the paper. "Good," Miss Zen said, noticing. "Fear keeps you alert." Lunch was eaten at desks, in hiding positions. Attacks happen during transitions, Miss Zen warned. Math became about survival times, not algebra. History was about kids who hid poorly. Lily stopped doing homework. Why bother with equations when Miss Zen said they wouldn't reach 8th grade? The week before it all fell apart, things got darker. On Monday, Miss Zen locked Emma in the supply closet. Solo survival practice, she called it. She forgot Emma for 2 hours. Lily was in the bathroom when they found her. Emma's face was red, puffy, her voice a whimper. "I was good. I was quiet," she kept saying. Lily threw up in the sink, her stomach churning. Tuesday, Miss Zen made them write goodbye letters to their parents. "For when you fail," she said. Lily wrote, "I love you, Mom and Dad," over and over. Katie, next to her, drew pictures of her dog. Lily saw Katie's hands tremble as she sketched. Wednesday, Miss Zen showed news footage of school shootings. She pointed at the smartboard, analyzing mistakes. "See, he ran wrong," she said, rewinding a clip. A boy in front of Lily wet his pants. The smell filled the room, but Miss Zen didn't notice. She just kept replaying the video. Thursday was silence training, no talking, no bathroom breaks. Kids cried silently by lunch, faces wet but soundless. Miss Zen nodded, proud of their technique. Friday she sent a note home. Next week extended drills. Be prepared. Lily's mom, Mrs. Larson, Read it 3 times at dinner. Maybe I should call someone, she said, worried. Mr. Larson shook his head. Miss Zen's the expert. She lived through it. Lily wanted to scream that they were living through something too. But she just asked to leave the table. The school counselor, Mrs. Peterson, tried talking to Miss Zen. Miss Zen snapped, "You'll have blood on your hands when kids die." Lily overheard, her heart racing. Monday loomed like a storm. Miss Zen was jumpier than ever. She started a survival barricade drill. In 30 seconds, she had desks piled against the door. She texted Mr. Carter. "It's happening again. I'm ready." Lily's classmates crouched, socks slipping on the floor. Miss Zen handed out buckets for bathrooms. "No one leaves positions," she said. She held scissors, calling them last resort protection. "We'll succeed where my last class failed," she whispered. Lily's chest tightened. Miss Zen's eyes were wild, scanning the room. Something felt wrong, like a trap closing. Lily glanced at Emma, still shaky from the closet. Michael clutched his desk, his shirt still faintly stained. Katie gripped her goodbye letter, knuckles white. They were all scared but too quiet to say it. Lily crouched under her desk, socks slipping on the cold floor. Her heart pounded so loud she feared Miss Zen would hear. The classroom smelled of sweat and fear. Bang, bang. Construction sounds echoed outside. Lily's face drained, her hands trembling. Miss Zen smiled, a strange, satisfied look. She moved to the window, peering through a gap in her survival maps. Her fingers tightened around the scissors she called protection. "This is it, children," she whispered. "Everything we've practiced for." She shoved desks against the door, building layers of barricades. Lily watched Emma's breathing quicken next to her. Emma had been jumpy since the closet incident. Her eyes flicked to the door, wide with panic. Michael curled deeper under his desk, his shirt still faintly red from Miss Zen's paint. Katie clutched her goodbye letter. Dog drawings creased in her fist. Tears streamed down her face, silent as trained. Lily pressed herself into the corner, trying to shrink. The principal's voice crackled over the intercom, shaky. "This is a lockdown. This is not a drill. Secure your classrooms." Miss Zen laughed, sharp and wrong. She grabbed her emergency backpack, spilling supplies on her desk. Bandages, tourniquets, water bottles, scissors. She laid them out like a surgeon preparing for battle. Lily's socks stuck to the floor, damp with sweat. No shoes, no noise, just like Miss Zen taught. Sarah, behind Lily, mouthed something, her eyes panicked. Lily couldn't understand, too scared to focus. Miss Zen patrolled, 5 steps to the window, 3 to the door. Check, listen, repeat. She moved like a soldier, rigid, focused. "You're doing so well," she whispered. "Better than my last." Sound meant death. Everything meant death except silence. A voice came from the hall. "Officer Peralta." Miss Zen opened the door. "Safe." Miss Zen shook her head, pressing against the barricade. "That's what they'd say," she whispered. "A trick to make us open up." Lily's stomach twisted. Construction workers, not gunshots. She saw realization flicker on her classmates' faces. But Miss Zen wasn't listening. "Nice try," she called. "I'm protecting these children." More voices joined. Mr. Carter, Mrs. Peterson, teachers. "Construction accident," they said. "False alarm, no danger." Miss Zen's eyes were wild, lost in another reality. "They want me to fail again," she said. "But I won't. I couldn't save them, but I'll save you." She cried, tears mixing with sweat, scissors steady. The hallway voices grew urgent. Someone mentioned her sister, Helen. Someone said maintenance was coming for the door. Miss Zen piled more against it. Books, chairs, the printer. "We can wait them out," she told them. "We have supplies, water." She pulled protein bars from her backpack. "See, I planned for this." Emma's breathing turned to gasps, a soft wheeze. In the silent room, it was deafening. Miss Zen's head snapped toward her. "No, no, no," she said, crawling to Emma. "Breathe through your nose, quietly." Emma couldn't stop, her body shaking. Miss Zen held the scissors, trying to calm her. "You have to be quiet," she whispered. "They'll find us." Lily wanted to help Emma, but fear glued her in place. Miss Zen's trauma was swallowing them all. The door hinges squealed as maintenance worked. Miss Zen heard it, her movements frantic. She dragged the teacher's desk, spilling more supplies. Gauze unrolled, antiseptic bottles rolled under desks. Michael threw up, the smell sharp in the enclosed space. Kids gagged but stayed silent. Miss Zen crawled to him, pressing a hand over his mouth. "They'll track us by smell," she whispered. Michael's eyes bulged, terror swallowing him. The second hinge popped free. Mrs. Peterson's voice came through, asking what was happening. Someone mentioned the fire department. Miss Zen wedged a filing cabinet against the door. Katie couldn't hold it anymore. She crawled to the corner bucket, shaking. Her hands knocked it over, metal clanging loudly. Miss Zen spun, scissors pointed at Katie. Lily's breath stopped, the room frozen. Miss Zen's face softened, remembering Katie was a student. She lowered the scissors, hands trembling. "Go back," she motioned. Katie crawled back, leaving a puddle, her face burning with shame. The door shifted, light leaking through the gap. Miss Zen threw her body against the barricade. Maintenance pushed harder, the gap widening. She turned to her students, tears streaming down her face. She looked at each, memorizing them like saying goodbye. "I won't let them hurt you," she said, scissors raised. "Not like before." Lily saw the truth. Miss Zen was fighting ghosts. Construction sounds, not gunshots. Her mind had twisted reality. The door gave way. Officer Peralta stepped through, hands raised. Behind him were Mr. Carter, Mrs. Peterson, other teachers. Their faces showed fear, not of a shooter but of Miss Zen. She lunged forward with the scissors. Officer Peralta caught her wrist gently, prying them away. Miss Zen collapsed against him, sobbing. "Tyler breathed too loud," she cried. "I failed them but not you." She broke apart, her voice raw. Mr. Carter rushed in, voice shaky. "Safe kids, come out." Nobody moved, trained too well. Lily stayed frozen, socks damp, heart racing. Mrs. Peterson coaxed them out, one by one. Emma was rigid, eyes blank, carried out by a teacher. Paramedics arrived, wrapping them in silver blankets. They sat in the hallway, shivering, checked for injuries. Parents flooded in, faces pale with fear and anger. Michael's mom saw his stained shirt and screamed at Mr. Carter. Katie's dad held her as she cried about her accident. Emma's parents rode with her in the ambulance. Miss Zen was led away, still looking back. "It's a trick," she told Officer Peralta. "The construction workers, they almost got us." He nodded sadly, guiding her to the exit. Lily watched, her hands shaking. Miss Zen thought she was saving them, but she'd become the danger. Lily walked to school, scanning the street for Miss Zen. Teachers got new training on spotting troubling behavior. But Miss Zen found ways around the rules. She waited across the street, just off school property. Her eyes followed kids arriving and leaving. Lily took different routes home, heart racing. Mrs. Larson picked her up at random times. Sometimes from the back entrance, sometimes the gym. They made their own safety plans. Not for shooters but for Miss Zen. The irony hit Lily hard. One afternoon, she forgot to wait for her mom. She walked out the main entrance alone. Miss Zen appeared from behind a parked car, fast. She grabbed Lily's arm, firm but not painful. Her eyes darted, wild, scanning for threats. She pressed a folded paper into Lily's hand. Lily pulled away, running back inside, pulse pounding. The paper was a map of her neighborhood. Hiding spots marked in red ink, neat and precise. Lily's hands shook as she showed it to Mrs. Larson. Her mom called Mr. Carter, voice tight with anger. The situation got worse when Miss Zen broke into the school. The janitor found her at night in their old classroom. She was arranging desks into defensive formations. Emergency kits, updated evacuation maps, red paint bottles. All there. Police arrested her for trespassing. She was released the next morning. Dr. Reeves called an emergency group session. Lily and her classmates sat in a circle, shaken. Sarah's hands trembled as she spoke. She'd seen Miss Zen outside her bedroom window. Marcus admitted sleeping in his parents' room again. The fear they'd fought to bury came rushing back. Miss Zen was a real threat, not the one she imagined. Parents met without school staff, in a neighbor's living room. They shared stories, traded strategies. Mrs. Larson came home with legal options and advocacy contacts. Everyone agreed things had to change. Helen, Miss Zen's sister, reached out to families. She apologized, voice breaking over the phone. Miss Zen had stopped her medication. She believed her students were still in danger. Helen tried to get her committed, but Miss Zen fled. She lived in a motel, spending savings on her mission. Protecting kids who didn't want her protection. The breaking point came at a school basketball game. Miss Zen slipped into the gym, unnoticed at first. She pulled the fire alarm, chaos erupting. As kids evacuated, she ran onto the court with a megaphone. She shouted exit strategies, showed drop-and-crawl moves. Younger kids cried, confused by her frenzy. 3 parents tackled her near the bleachers. She fought, yelling about keeping everyone safe. The megaphone skidded across the floor. Officer Peralta arrived, carrying her out. She screamed about their vulnerability, her failure. This time the psychiatric hold stuck. Helen signed the papers. Miss Zen was admitted to a facility 2 hours away. 30-day evaluation, maybe longer depending on progress. The school sent a careful letter home. It balanced privacy with their need to know. Relief washed over the classroom. Kids raised hands without flinching. Bathroom breaks felt normal again. Pencils dropped without panic. Mrs. Young replaced survival maps with student art. Bright drawings covered the windows, letting light in. But healing wasn't instant. Emma stayed near the door, eyes on exits. Michael's red-stained shirt hung in his closet. Lily checked windows not for shooters but for Miss Zen. Her drills were in their bones, muscle memory. Dr. Reeves taught exposure therapy. They practiced being loud, stomping, clapping. Felt wrong, like breaking a rule. Katie cried when asked to shout. But slowly, they reclaimed their voices. Lily stomped her feet, heart racing, but kept going. The school district faced heat. An investigation showed ignored warnings. Teachers had flagged Miss Zen's behavior. Parents' complaints were brushed off. Mr. Carter, who'd called her an expert, resigned quietly. Parents pushed for accountability. They packed school board meetings, spoke at every session. Mrs. Larson read Lily's goodbye letter aloud. Other parents held up their kids' letters, red paint photos. A dad in a construction logo shirt challenged the board. How was painting kids with dye expertise? The board had no answer. They agreed to new policies. Mandatory mental health screenings for staff. Better training on trauma responses. Clear rules for parent concerns. Some families left the district. Michael's parents moved him to private school. 8 others followed, leaving empty desks. Lily's class of 27 became 19 by spring. Those desks reminded Lily of the damage. But the kids were alive, healing elsewhere. Lily learned to manage her hypervigilance. Dr. Reeves taught her to name 5 safe things. The clock ticking, her notebook, a friend's laugh. It pulled her back to the present, away from Miss Zen's fears. Explaining to other kids was hard. They asked why Lily flinched at announcements, why she ate lunch so fast. She just said, "We had a strict teacher." It was easier than explaining months of fear training. Helen sent a letter in spring. Miss Zen was improving, starting to see her impact. She wanted to apologize, but doctors said no contact. The letter included a photo. Miss Zen in a facility garden. She looked healthier, but her eyes held sadness. Lily tucked the letter away, unsure how to feel. By 7th grade's end, their class had a strange bond. Not friends, but survivors of something unique. They checked on each other during drills. A nod, a glance, making sure everyone was okay. 8th grade helped, mixing them with new kids. The new students didn't know their past. Lily could practice being normal, not defined by Miss Zen. Mr. Jameson, the new principal, made real changes. He removed Miss Zen's doorstops, added panic buttons. Drills were routine, not life or death. Teachers got trauma-informed training that worked. Lily saw Emma at high school orientation. She still sat by exits but stayed through classes. They nodded, no words needed. The district settled with families that summer. The money covered therapy, acknowledged harm. More importantly, they formed an oversight committee. Parents had real input on safety policies. Miss Zen stayed in treatment, then moved to outpatient care. She lived with Helen under restraining orders. She never contacted them again. Lily wondered if Miss Zen still saw their faces, if she dreamed of saving kids already gone. Their story stayed quiet, no headlines. Just 27 kids who survived a teacher's breakdown. They learned good intentions could hurt. Lily still caught herself breathing too quietly. But she'd name 5 safe things: her desk, the sun, a friend. She'd breathe normally, grounding herself. They carried scars, but they moved forward. Their real survival was living past fear. Not hiding but healing despite what Miss Zen left behind. Thanks for joining Lily's journey through fear to strength. If their courage moved you, hit like and subscribe for more. What's your story of overcoming trauma? Share in the comments with your city and time. I'm reading from a town near Hartford at 4:59 a.m., October 7, 2025. Where are you?